It was Radiohead who said, "You do this to yourself, and that's what really hurts." I watched another Mark Polonia movie today, SRS Cinema's Doll Shark. Not Mark's worst, not Mark's best, but it certainly is a movie that I watched. Uh, yeah, I think if you've seen one of these pun title shark movies, you've seen them all. This one revolves around a guy who walks like he's wearing his shoes on the wrong feet the entire movie, who is standing on green screen stabbing what's clearly a shark mask with a bamboo stick. And then the shark will sometimes be a mask, and sometimes when it's underwater will be stock footage of like a real shark, except it'll have electrical after effects on it. Yeah, so it's a devilfish and it has powers, and it's his job to kill it, but we never find out why it's his job to kill it, why he's there, because he works for a fishing company most of the time, and he's a deadbeat dad apparently, but his son is in love with him. So he kills the devil shark with the After Effects digital lightning powers. But as the shark sinks to the bottom of the green screen, it laughs at him. And that's a motif in this movie. Apparently, sharks in this world have vocal cords. So he buys his son a stuffed shark from this I guess it's supposed to be like Baby Shark do 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 thing. And it's this song and video that's on the 24/7 throughout this thing. But he pulls the shark tooth out of the devil shark before before it laughs at him and sinks to the bottom of the green screen. And he sticks it up into the plush of the puppet. Well, we don't know it's a puppet. It's a doll. And he mails it to his son. And the ex-wife, and the most unbelievable thing in this entire movie, forget the fact that it's about a shark doll that comes alive and eats people. We have that this mother and this father, the New Jersey mob wife and guy who walks around with his shoes on the wrong feet would ever have been married and had a kid. The kid is the best actor in the entire movie. It's not saying much, but he's pretty good, considering the material he was given. He's like Hayden Christensen. He did the best he could. So the mom keeps calling the dad all kinds of names in front of the kid, and the kid idolizes his dad. But the mom is going away for a couple days with a dude who drives an old Mustang. We never show him, but he's got a nice car. So she splits out and leaves the kid with meth mouth lady. No, I don't know if she's really on meth. She has, you look at certain people and you look at their mouths, and you're like, that person did a lot of drugs. The babysitter fucking hates this kid, and all she does is makes fun of him and tells him how much she doesn't like him. And then she's making fun of him for having a doll and watching the not Baby Shark do thing over and over and over again. But now the shark doll comes alive, and there's neighbors who are swingers. Well, I guess only the lady would be, because the dude has to be coaxed into getting into the pool, and she's like, well, I guess somebody's going to have to help me find the other part of my bathing suit. But I'm not really sure what she took off, because she's still wearing the exact same thing. I'm a fan of Mark Polonia movies. I think they're fun, cheesy, good times. He knows exactly what he's making. He utilizes stock footage to a great degree. You notice his stock players and everything. His basement gets used a lot. But what I will give Donald Farmer over Mark Polonia is the women in Donald Farmer's projects are women that I'd actually want to spend time looking at, So Homeboy sees the woman take off a part of her bathing suit that I have no idea what part of the bathing suit that is. So he runs into the pool house to go get changed. The doll shark comes alive, and when it comes alive, it looks sort of like a Chinese knockoff of a My Pet monster, um, or it's like that dragon Muppet, but if it would had a fin and a tail. And I like that it's actually like a puppet, like the mouth actually moves and shit like that. Whenever it's eating someone, it's just a bunch of close-up shots of this, and then After Effects blood spraying on shit. So yeah, so homeboy gets eaten. Then the shark puppet goes in the water, eats the lady. We cut the stock footage of the police and firefighters, and they're talking about how it was an animal, but then the not Chris Sarandon of this movie, because obviously it's taking on a Chucky vibe. They even have these weird cutaways where there's a YouTube movie review show talking about how things are too safe for kids anymore, and it's pretty clear that these people were backers of the Indiegogo campaign. Later on, there's also a fucking Pokemon guy, which comes out of nowhere, and I had to rewind it to make sure that like there wasn't a gas leak in the theater, and I actually saw what I saw. And he's called the Baron, and he talks about opening Pokemon cards and ECW cards, and then he's like telling the viewer, which is a child in this case, because it's like this weird. There's this shark cartoon that just plays the same thing over and over again. But then sometimes it's the news reporting on brutal homicides. Sometimes it's these YouTubers talking about how things are too soft these days. And then sometimes it's this dude who looks like Gimli, who's like, but like a not cool Gimli. Like he looks like the kind of dude you would see like at a Ren fair, and he's talking to you about Pokemon. So I'm like, what channel is this? Like, it reminds me of like, if you look at the breadth of The Simpsons, like the Krusty the Clown show, what is it exactly? Like, it's a kid's show, but like sometimes it's not, and you're like, what the fuck is this? So the lady gets killed, the guy gets killed, the not Chris Sarandon guy now thinks that there's a psychopath on the loose, despite the fact that Mark Polonia, as the forensic doctor pathologist, says that it was an animal. The babysitter with the meth mouth wants to invite her friends over because I guess she's supposed to be like a teenager. The black girl who's in most of the Polonia stuff is also in it. I guess she's supposed to be a teenager. Later on in the movie, these two dudes who like they look older than me are supposed to be teenagers in it as well, and they get stopped by not Chris Sarandon. The meth mouth lady and the little boy go to the grocery store. Now, I assumed that like the babysitter was like setting up the house to get robbed when they went out to the grocery store, but no, just a random guy shows up to steal things, and he gets eaten. But on the way, he has like a little duffel bag of things he's stealing. He steals a bottle of Febreze, the cordless phone, but not the cradle to charge it, like a Hawaiian shirt, like just random shit. And then he gets eaten too and pulled down into the basement. And again, it's another one of those times where like Mark Polonia clearly didn't want blood squirted on his house. So it's either After Effects blood or it's clearly ketchup. There's one point in the shower where it's just clearly ketchup. So they get back, Meth Mouth and Little Boy, after a ton of shots of the Meth Mouth babysitter talking about how she can't wait for the weekend to be over. But then there's like a new Shark song on the radio, and she's listening to that, and she's kind of into it. But like, there's just random shots of the kid just looking off into the distance, and I'm just like, I get padding, but like, come on now. We never hear from the mom again the entire movie. Then the dad, who looks like he's got the shoes on the wrong feet, he's like, oh, I wonder if my son got his gift. So he takes a picture out of his wallet, and it's a still from the movie of the kid with the shark puppet or with the shark doll, that later on when the babysitter's talking to the kid about coming to eat his soup, it's just that shot. So I was like, he's in the future and he got it. Yeah, the kid sleeps through the babysitter getting her arm bitten off. The black girl gets eaten. The two dudes who let themselves in, who are coming to hang out with the chicks, get eaten. The dad then like requests off from his boss, and he's like, "Hey, I can't go on the fishing trip with you guys because my gut's telling me that my son is in danger." And his boss is like, "Well, this is the biggest time of the year for us, but you got to go with your gut." And then he just shows up when the shark puppet doll is like most alive, even though the son slept through the entire thing. The Just sleeping right next to the fucking meth mouth babysitter as she's getting her arm eaten off. Um, he's complicit in this. Uh, I guess unless it's supposed to be like a child's play thing, like the doll is like telling him, but they never talk about that. All they ever talk about is, can dolls come alive? Because it's in different places when I try to find it and stuff. So there's never a time when the evil shark monster is like telling the kid to like ignore it or do things or whatever. Um, yeah, and then the dad shows up and stabs the shark doll with the same bamboo stick. It's not a special stick. He just did it. And yeah, and then the not Chris Sarandon's like, I don't know how I'm gonna write this up, holding up the puppet doll, and then shoes on the wrong feet dad throws the shark tooth back into the water, and then the shark tooth on green screen starts to have the After Effects glow on it, and we hear the laughing of the growling vocal cord devil shark, and the movie is over. uh that was a roller coaster of emotions. It was PG-13. He was clearly going for a little bit more of a kiddie vibe to it. It didn't have something like Tim Ritter's Sharks of the Corn, or like a Sand Shark or Ghost Shark, or hell, even Shark Exorcist. Uh, but again, not the best Mark Polonia movie, not the worst Mark Polonia movie. It definitely made me laugh out loud a couple times. Uh, I I couldn't get over just the idea of just stealing the phone without the cradle and a single bottle of Febreze. Like, I don't know why that made me laugh so fucking hard, but it did. So it's on Tubi. There's also a movie called Puppet Shark, and Puppet Shark, and Doll Shark and Shark Exorcist 2 all premiered in Japan a couple weeks ago, as at this Japanese shark film festival. And obviously I worked on Shark Exorcist 2, so a bunch of people sent me pictures of the premiere and shit like that, and it was a sold out show. And I did a bunch of podcasts and interviews as far as my work with Donald Farmer, and having a shark movie ready for next year to go to Japan with. So I got a couple shark scripts, and Mark Polonia sort of cornered that market, but I think I can nudge my way in. The bar is pretty low. Uh, I don't know if there's really anything else. I like his work a little bit better when he has like stop motion stuff with like Brett Piper. There's a bug in my face. And I don't know. I think you could have done a lot more with Doll Shark, and kind of gone more for a trilogy of terror, Chucky kind of vibe with it. I want to know more about the Baron. I want to know more about the guy who collects Pokemon cards, who just pops up in the movie for no reason whatsoever. He's a star in the making. The little kid was fine for what he was. The sound of him eating soup was pretty gross. I want to know what happened to the mom. How do you explain that when she gets back from her Mustang date with a dude we never see? Uh, I don't know. Check it out on Tubi. Doll Shark. I got nothing.